In life, you're going to run into two different types of people, right? Two different types of people when it comes to you expressing your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, when it comes to you expressing all the shit that you want to succeed at or anything that you already succeeded at. You're going to run into two different types of people. The first type are the people who genuinely fuck with you. They encourage you, they motivate you, they push you, they root you on, they your biggest cheerleaders, them your ride or die. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do, they down with it. Even if they don't understand why you're doing it, they understand that it's not for them to understand. All they know is you the homie. This is what you want to do, so they like, fuck it, do it. You know what I mean? The other type of people are the people who get sick to their stomach at the thought of you changing. Right? The moment they hear, the moment that you personally tell them that you about to do some shit with your life, that you have to step away momentarily because you got shit to do and you need to focus on yourself for a little while, them people right there, it's a threat. It's a threat to them because you making those type of changes means you will no longer be their doormat. Means you will no longer be as available as you used to be. Means they can no longer use you or manipulate you or play you. Because truth be told, those type of people really didn't want you around no way. It was cool at first, but as time went on and they started to see the type of person you were and they started to see that your light shined a little bit brighter than theirs, you became a threat to them. But at the same time, they wanted to latch on anyway because you were still benefiting them. Every time they needed you, you was there. Every time they needed some money, you gave them money. Whatever the fuck they needed, you were there. So although they didn't want you around anymore, although they didn't care for you anymore, you benefited them in ways, and so they still kept you around. Just like romantic relationships. Motherfuckers with you think you're in a relationship. In your mind, you're in a relationship. But in their mind, they done with you. But you bring so much to the table, they ain't trying to let you go either. That type of thing. When you make changes, when you succeed in life, it's fucked up because you really want to tell people. You know what I'm saying? You want to share the good news. You want people to rejoice and be happy for you. And you have some that will, but the sad reality is people don't give two fucks because it has nothing to do with them. It's fucked up because in your mind, especially those people that really didn't want to fuck with you to begin with, in your mind, you fuck with them. You really did. So you have never thought, naturally you would have never thought in a million years that if you share good news with them, that they would hate on that shit, that they wouldn't even want you to change. You wouldn't think that shit. I used to be the same way. And that shit hurt like a motherfucker, but I had to learn to just shut up. I don't tell nobody shit. People don't know how the fuck I feel. People don't know what I go through or what I experience unless I tell them. You know, you never see me make any type of post on social media about what I'm doing. I don't post my every move. People don't know shit. People don't know if I'm in a relationship or if I'm single, or they don't know what the fuck going on with me. Especially off the posts that I make. I post a lot of random shit. A lot of shit that I post that has nothing to do with me. But there are things that I agree with. Some things I resonate with through my experiences. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned in my life that when I succeed at something, or when I accomplish something, or whatever goals and shit that I have for myself, I keep it to myself. And it took a long time for me to be able to do that. Don't get me wrong, there are a few people, and they know who they are, that I can go to and share good news with. You know what I'm saying? I can go to them and talk to them about my plans and shit and everything good. But for the most part, people don't give a fuck. Especially if they're going through something. Especially if they had shit that they wanted to do and to succeed in and they couldn't do it for whatever the fuck reason. You know what I'm saying? It makes them mad. It's going to make them jealous to hear your good news. But those people who use you and shit, and you'll find out real quick when you step away for a minute, because I found out the hard way too. I didn't make an announcement I didn't think I had to. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that there was a mutual understanding, you know, because for the most part, people know how I am. But I just thought that there would be an understanding that if I stepped away for a moment, if you don't hear from me, then they will understand that I'm doing something, that I'm busy. You know, I'm working on myself. But that wasn't the case. And shit got real when I turned around and needed some help from them same people, and they couldn't. It's not that they couldn't, they refused. Let's just say that, because that's what the fuck it was. They refused to be there for me in the same way that I've always been there for them. But once you decide to make those necessary changes for your life so you can grow and become the greatest version of yourself, you'll see what I'm talking about. People gonna start be falling off. People gonna get mad at you. Some people gonna question you about what you doing, why you doing it, or what makes you think that you can do it. You're gonna hear all kinds of shit. And you're gonna see slowly but surely a lot of people fading away. You're gonna start seeing slowly but surely a lot of people fading away who you wouldn't have thought in a million years would have walked away. Because in your mind, you're so genuine, you're so caring, you know, you're so solid that you would have thought that those same people would feel the same way and do for you the same way that you've done for them. And that's not the case. It's fucked up. I can honestly say for me, I have a good heart because this how I am. I've always had a good heart. But my mom used to always tell us, like, you know, you treat people how you want to be treated and all that shit. And so I tried that shit, and that's some bullshit. Yeah. It's a fucking lie. When you treat people how you want to be treated, that's how you fucking get used up. That's how you get played. And it was years later where I had to learn, instead of treating people how I wanted to be treated, I had to learn to treat people accordingly to how the fuck they treat me. That's how I decided to play this shit now. And so when I tried, and after I became bitter and angry at the fact that I didn't know how to stop having a good heart and all that shit, I had to learn to be able to still keep it, but yet be mindful of who I give it to. Be mindful of who I'm a friend to. Be mindful of who I care for. Be mindful of who I love. Shit like that. And I had to learn to continue with my growth and continue making the changes that I had to make for myself and continue to stay away so that I can do all that and not be distracted. Even when people walked away from me. Even when people start hating on me and shit. And that's the same shit you have to learn to do, and that shit hurt. Because you really want to tell people, you want people to rejoice with you and all that shit. But I've learned over the years to clap for my motherfucking self. I pat myself on the back. I don't need no one's congratulations or none of that shit. That's something that I used to want. But I had to look back over that shit and realize I wanted it because I wanted it. I never really needed it. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense? I never needed that shit. But I had wanted it so bad to where it felt like I needed it. And I've been living life just fine without it. When it comes to you making changes for yourself, when it comes to you doing what it is that you have to do for yourself, everybody ain't gonna like that shit. People gonna get mad. And them people gonna get mad because they can no longer use you and abuse you anymore. You making a change is gonna require you to wake the fuck up. And what's crazy is, before you decided to make them changes, people know. Like, if you around people all the time, you know, friendships, y'all been friends for a long time and shit like that, you know each other's strengths and weaknesses. You know what each other can work on more. You know what I'm saying? You know each other's potential. And when you got people in your circle, you would think that they would point that out, like, oh, bro, you should do this or you should do that. That's what the fuck I do. People that I fuck with, people in my circle, I point out their potential. I'm like, man, you should do this or you should do that. And vice versa. But some of them people in your circle that you got right now, they know you got certain potential to do other things. And they done sat there and heard about you. You know, you done cried to them. You done talked to them about wanting to do better in life. And they have some guidance and you know, they have ways that they can show you that you can do better. They have input and they have words of encouragement and shit, but they refuse to tell you any of that shit because they know the moment you wake up is the moment that you will no longer be available to them. They can't use you no more. And depending on what you're trying to do with your life, it's going to require you to step away to the point where a lot of them people ain't going to be able to go with you. And they can't stomach that shit. Make those changes anyway. And continue doing whatever it is that you have to do for yourself. Only you know that. Only you know what it takes. Only you know what's best for you. Only you know what you need to be doing. And keep in mind that everybody ain't gonna like that shit. The little words of encouragement and shit like that you receive from people, cherish those. And the other people that hate, the other people that talk down on your dreams and your goals and shit, or they try to encourage you to not do it, fuck them. Fuck them. You leave them right where they at and you keep it pushing. You got shit to do.